All right, so in this video we are going to, or the series of videos, we're going to be talking about doing our op art worksheet and learning how to do the different techniques of op art. So in this video, we're going to concentrate on, I call it the twisted tube, or we'll call it tube art number 1. And so we're just going to do it right here in this section. If you get going and you're like, okay, I didn't try that one, or I didn't do that one part correctly, you can always jump over to my example, but this is just the beginning stage. Now, I would encourage you, if you're watching the video, to actually watch the step, and then I'll say, okay, this is a good place to stop it and do what I just did. For example, step number 1 is we are going to draw a line kind of across the middle of the paper. So I'm going to go ahead. You'll notice that this line is not very straight. I gave it just a tad bit of a curve, okay? And then on this line, you're going to put 6 dots, okay? If we were doing a bigger paper, like on our final, you might put more than 6, but I think for this, 6 is about right. Okay, and these are just kind of like marking points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I got my 6 dots. This would be a good place to stop it. Do just to this point. All right, so I'm going to zoom in here just a little bit since we are done with that first part. The next part, we're going to try to make it just like this. So we're going to start with a series of half circles connecting each dot. So I'm going to go off the paper starting with number 1 and going to the left. Number 1 to number 2, number 2 to number 3, and all the way across. And again, we're just doing half circles. Some of them aren't even quite half. All right, then I'm going to go between dot number 3 and there it is, dot number 3 and 4. And we're going to try to make it very similar to this one. So what I'm going to do is start with the dot, and then I am going to just make another half circle coming up and off of that first one. Then I'm going to go to the top of this half circle, not here, but over to the left, and I'm going to resume making half circles. I'm going to start again on the top left area. This time I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and I'm going to stop it a little sooner. I'm not going to come over to the right quite as much because, as we can see right here, it's kind of going a tad bit to the right and then it goes to the left. So I'm going to go around one more. Okay, now I'm going to move it this way just a little bit. And how I do that is I'm going to start on the top left. I'm going to make a little bigger on the left and end it a little more abruptly on the right. So bigger on the left, more abruptly on the right. And we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on this last one. As it comes around, it actually runs off the paper. Okay, and that would be a good place to stop the second time. All right, assuming that you have now done this, you've resumed the video. We are going to change this. We're moving on from just what we have here in this example. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue this tube going down, and I can vary it because there's no instructions in the example. So I'm going to do half circle, and I'm going to start on the left again, go to the right. You'll notice I'm not stopping at the circle, or excuse me, at the original dot. I could make this go straight down. I can make it get bigger by looping it around. Okay. I'm also going to say, okay, well, that one was pretty big, but maybe we'll have one that's a little more neutral. These kind of remind me of something you'd see in Dr. Seuss for some of his little spirals and such. So you could do something like this. And if you want to just watch the rest of this video, I'm going to give you some other examples of things. For example, this one's kind of big here, and this one's kind of small. So I could just have like a little tube that kind of twists into this one by, again, starting closer on the top of the left and going around and just saying, okay, I'm going to tuck that in. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller till basically it looks like it's going underneath that first tube. We'll go to this one, and I'm going to start making it go straight up and down by equal left to right side. But then because I have this gap here, I want to make it also kind of get bigger, curving this way. So I'm going to start on the top left, and I'm going to curve it around to the top right. Start in the top left, curve it around to the top right, and you kind of get an idea of how this little tube is starting to tuck in and curve to the right. Then I could continue it down. I could also continue this one down. All right, so we're just going to take a little bit of time to fill in this rectangle with twisted tubes. And whenever you feel like you've watched enough, you can stop the video and do your own.